All right, so let's take a look at these new projects, putting them on this page here. And we're going to examine the registry. Once again, like all my projects, it's gotten much easier because of autopsy. But this is important for an investigator to understand the registry, although autopsy does a lot of the work for you. So that you have to capture the registry with Ftk Imager. And as an interesting side, I wanted to see what things went in the typed URLs field. So the first thing to do is put some evidence on this machine. So you start with your Windows machine, and first open Internet Explorer, which I think this is. That's Edge. All right, let's open Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer. And go to a website just so we can see if it went there, and the one I say to go to is kittenmore.com, which is just a website with pictures of kittens. All right, kittenmore.com. Well, you have to type it in. You cannot click a link. It's important because there's a special registry key for typed URLs. So why didn't it find it? kittenmore.com. There. Okay, I typed it in and it opened. Okay. Now, to see if Edge picks that up too, I'm going to open Edge, the new browser, and there I'm going to go to a different site, Puppy War, just so I can tell the difference, which is the same thing, but puppies. So I type that in and go there. Yes. All right. Kind of slow to load, but I think it's loading. This might be enough. Sort of like to see the pictures to be convinced that the process completely went through. Anyway, now I want to catch the registry on this machine. I'm going to just shove this to the side and let it keep loading. All right, and we're going to use Ftk Imager. You can download it for free and install it on your machine. It is best not to install it on a machine in doing a real investigation, but in this case I installed it on a machine because it's easier. The alternative is to prepare a USB stick with the portable version, and the guess I'll just close this. But that's a lot of work, and not all my students have USB sticks handy. So just for convenience, we're going to use Ftk Imager that's installed on the machine, and we're going to catch the registry. So there's Ftk Imager, and what you do is you do File, Obtain Protected Files. Done this a million times. This gets registry files, and first it'll do the minimum files for login password recovery, but you'd change it to password recovery and all registry files. And now you need to tell it somewhere to put it, so I'm going to browse and go to my desktop and make a new folder and call it reg image. All right. The original instructions say to use the full word registry underscore image. I'm just going to make this one reg image for my demo and say OK and OK. And there it goes. It's really a fast process. It doesn't have to collect much. Not getting your whole hard drive. It's just getting the registry. And by the way, you can see the registry files if you open regedit, which is the Microsoft utility to view the live registry, and it probably will remember, yeah, here we are, it remembers this path where I last opened it: computer, HKey, local machine, system, current control set, controls, Hive list. These are the various files that make the registry. In the System32 config, there's SAM, security, software, system, and default, and there are others, the most important one being for us, ntuser.dat. These ones here in System32 config are the global system settings, like your installed programs that are installed for all users, and the clock on the system and things like that. And then your personal settings, like your personal background and your personal start menu and your My Documents folder and settings and such, are all in ntuser.dat, and every user has a separate ntuser.dat file. So, what that Ftk Imager does is it collects all those files and puts them in this folder. Here it is, Reg Image. So if you go in here and look, here's the system files, and in here is users folders for each user, and the main user on this machine is called IE user, and in there is ntuser.dat, and there are a few other things, but the main action we care about is an ntuser.dat. Now, my previous project, you would manually dig through this registry image with a tool from FTK called Registry Viewer, but now you don't have to do that. Autopsy will make it much easier. So you launch Autopsy. Yes. Well, oh, that's right. I think it slows down a bit because of the streaming, although I am running a fan to cool it, which has been a problem in the past. All right. There's Autopsy. So I make a new case. All right, I'll call it Reg Demo. All right. And I don't need any of this, so I'll just finish. I don't need to give it the examiner's name or anything. All right. It's created a case. It should now take me through the 5 steps of adding data. There we go. Step 1 is select a host. I'll just let it choose the name and click Next. This is the important part, your data source type. Since all I did was catch a few files, I didn't get the whole disk image. That is a logical files image. So logical files, Next. And now I have to browse, add, and browse to that folder, which is desktop reg image. There we go. Select that. OK. And now Next. Now here, by default, it checks everything. And if you do that, it's going to take a long time. But actually, in this case, I do want everything checked. I'm mixing up the next project. So I'll just check everything again. I'm not sure that I need more than the first item, but it won't take too long to do everything on just a logical image. I'll mention another project after this, which is why I unchecked all these things. All right. Oh, I could have, there's the deselect all and select all buttons. That would have saved me some time. Then Next, and Finish. Isn't there an ingest module? Yes, there are definitely some ingest modules that take a really long time, and I'm not quite sure which ones they are. That's why you avoid having ingest. Here is starting the ingest down here. Yeah, that's why when you're doing a full disk image, you save a lot of time by blocking some of them. Of course, in practice, you would do them all for a real case. But in these homework assignments, it's good to skip the ones you're not using just to save time. So now that we're done with that, all we got to do is go to Data Sources, and you'll find some folders, and just keep expanding folders here. And you'll find, okay, here's Reg Image. And if you want to look at the personal settings, which is what we're going to look at here, you go to the folder for that users IE user. And in here is ntuser.dat. And when you click on that, it shows you the registry down here in this lower pane. So it's very nice. By the way, I don't think I can make it bigger. Let me take a look. View. It'd be nice to make it bigger. Tools, Options. I don't know if there's a way to make the font bigger. Holy cow. Way too many settings. I think I'm not going to be able to make it bigger. All right, anyway, so here you see the root of, whoa, something weird happened. Data source, I guess opening options caused it to forget how I expanded the tree. This is the kind of stuff you get with open source tools. They have these visual defects. All right. Anyway, the point is you can just explore the registry down here. And so you can find things. For example, we can find type URLs, which is from the root of this, it's Software Microsoft Internet Explorer. Microsoft Internet Explorer. And so you do need, it's good to have some clue how to use the registry, which takes a little practice to get used to this mess. All right, here's typed URLs, and you see there it is, kittenwar.com. But Puppy War is not there. So the only thing that appears here is Internet Explorer, typed in URLs, which is probably not that common anymore. Now everybody's probably using Edge. But anyway, that's what you find there. And if you go to the project, there are other ones to find here. User Assist is one that shows you what the user has been opening. And let me demonstrate this one because it can be confusing. So for User Assist, you start from the same place, your NT user, and it's root software Microsoft, which is here, but then it's Windows Current Version Explorer. And this is Windows Explorer, not Internet Explorer. It keeps track of something about the folders you've been opening and files. So User Assist is here. There's nothing in the User Assist folder, or I can't call it a key, but anyway, inside there are all these keys with long globally unique identifiers, Microsoft calls these, although they're not really unique. Anyway, now here's where it gets kind of crazy. These are all the programs that have recently been launched. And yet if you go to this one and look at the count is 0. So this program has been launched 0 times. There are 0 records. So the ones with zeros contain no useful information, and most of them contain zeros. So you have to hunt through this list to find one that isn't 0. And it may take you a little while. There, this one is not 0. And notice, now you can see down here, and this, I'm going to try zooming in, hopefully make it a little bigger. I don't know if that's going to work on Twitch. These are unreadable strings. And that's what I wanted to show you. This is kind of mind-boggling. This is Microsoft's record of what programs have been launched on this machine. And for some ungodly reason, they have chosen to obfuscate it with, and Maximize will not do any better. I'll just make it like this, you know. It's anyway, that for some ungodly reason they have chosen to conceal information with ROT13, which is ridiculous. This is so simple they can't use it for children's cartoons. You just move every letter 13 steps in the alphabet. So rot113.com, I think, or maybe it's .org. Will do it. No, this is it. This you can just do it yourself with a piece of paper, but here's a website that will do a ROT13 reversal. So I'm just going to type this in, type in one of these. This one here you see a lot, ZVPEB. So I'm going to type it in here, ZVPEB, FBSG. There, and you can see this is horrible Microsoft stuff happening, right? That turns into Microsoft. That's what Microsoft turns into with ROT13, ZVPEB. So it is, that's right. There is absolutely no point in encrypting something with ROT13 to preserve your privacy. You either leave it plain or anyway, but that's what you've got here. That's the sense in which it records this. These are recently launched programs. And if you use a different tool, you can actually get when they were launched and by whom, although it's not stored directly in the registry here. Anyway, there are other things here. That was typed URLs. There's User Assist. And I guess that's as many as I did on this one. So that's it for this project. You get to learn how to capture the registry and examine it a bit with Autopsy. So let me stop this one.